at the Brookings Institute conference stated clearly that he finds the most absurd problem that has ever existed. There is no precedent there. And my question to you would be, not only to you, to anybody else, what do you think would have happened if in '92, when our government at the time, current government, applied for membership at the United Nations, said no to the extraordinary and unjustified conditions which were imposed upon Macedonia? What do you think would have happened there if they said, no, we will stand by that and respect the Charter of the United Nations, which has no additional requirements, which were given only to Macedonia, as Kofi Annan said only a few days ago?
Well, I won't get into what Kofi Annan said.
Okay.
He was very close to my predecessor, Cyrus Vance.
Cyrus Vance,
and was involved in these discussions, and in fact appointed Secretary Vance, and then also helped appoint B to this role. So he definitely understands that that this is an issue of a negotiation. What would have happened in '92?
Yeah.
You know, let me just take a step back. When we look at history, we always wonder, what would have happened if you did this? What would have happened if you did that? So retrospective, and you know, we Americans were always thinking, what if we did something different before World War II? What if you know? Could the World War II have been avoided if we were in the League of Nations, and all sorts of things, you know. But there was a Security Council discussion of this issue. You know, there was a lot of discussion. I was not involved in those days, but this worked its way through the Security Council, which has, as you know, permanent members, non-permanent members, and the post-Yugoslav world, the breakup of Yugoslavia, led to a lot of different issues, this being one, and this is how it got resolved.
Yeah.
Now, the plus, of course, is your country became a member of the United Nations and has played an important role there, including the presidency, including having the presidency of the General Assembly, and is a respected member of the world community. So there were a lot of pluses, and of course everyone expected the name issue to be resolved very quickly. You know, this was the view. And
what do you mean very quickly?
Well, people thought in a year or two or 3 or 4 years to get...
Well, the way it stands, I don't see that it will be resolved. I don't think that we can compromise our name, as our identity, as I mentioned. But don't you find it supremely ironic, Nestor and Nimitz, that you are now mediating in a conflict which should never have existed, being appointed by the President, George W. Bush, who, by the way, recognized our country under our national name, Macedonia? Isn't it supremely ironic, and how does it put you now in a situation to negotiate between these two opposing sides?
Well, the job of a mediator is to listen carefully to both sides, to maintain a relationship with both sides, and to try to present some ideas that might help move it forward. Now, that's all one can do, and I think that it's up to the two parties if they think some other methodology would work better, or the international community. But I don't accept your fact that this is ironic. There are many disputes in the world that do get resolved, and there are many that go on for quite a few years. And the important thing is to have a leadership in both countries that focus on this and look after their national interests. I'm not saying your leadership should not look after your national interests, but also to see whether this could get resolved. So I think this is about all I can.
Can I add something? Because
one last point.
Yes, please. It's one question interesting because when you've been in Skopje, in Macedonia, and you wasn't answered because the Secretary General UN, Ban Ki-moon, addressed very
fundamental rights. If I believe that that a solution here could not be found without violating fundamental human rights, then there, of course, might be no solution. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's not
When you
not a
came in
solution here.
Macedonia, and what is the message for Macedonian viewers,
Yeah.
please?
Yes. Well, I was in what we call the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia at the United Nations. I was in your country with Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in July. And if I did meet with President Ivanov and Foreign Minister Popovsky here at the UN a few months ago in September. And
Are you preparing to come again?
and I would come back when the time is right. I'm hoping to have some discussions with the representatives, and then we'll see what the best plan is on coming to the.
I have a message for you, because I represent the World Macedonian Congress. I'm the Vice President. I'm also a member of the Board of Macedonian American Council. The Macedonian people within the Republic of Macedonia and in the diaspora will never allow any government in Macedonia to change the name Macedonia. We are the Republic of Macedonia. And that is,
with all due respect,
yeah.
you're arguing with me.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you. I'm giving you a message. As
well,
Mr. Tomic asked you to relay the message to the Macedonian people,
Yeah.
I'm relaying the message to you from those people who say to you, there will never be a change of the name. We are Macedonians, our name is Macedonia, and that's how it's going to be.
This is not a useful discussion. I don't think it ought to even be
Can you
broadcast
suggest-
Well, maybe,
because you're putting me in
No,
a
I'm not.
difficult position here by not asking me questions, but by making
Having a dialogue with you, sure. Well, I thought it would be good to hear the people's
thank you.
side.